Hi guys, my name is Sarah. I'm a brand new Flosstuber. I've been watching you guys for a while and I figured I would do my own video. The thing is, I'm not really comfortable watching myself on video, at least not watching myself talk. I've done a podcast before that was related to spinning and knitting and that kind of thing, and I made the same decision then. I can do podcasts as long as they are voice only. If I have to watch myself talk, I'm very self-conscious. I spend a lot of time fiddling with myself, and nobody wants to see that. So, much as I appreciate being able to see all of your pretty faces and your smiles and things like that, I can't do that. So, after I post this video, please let me know in the comments if you are interested in seeing any more of basically talking hands. My hands. Da-da-da-da-da. And I apologize for the state of my hands right now. My fingernails are kind of ratty and my fingers are kind of gross. So they're clean, but not as nice as I might want them to be and as they will probably be, hopefully be, in the future. I also don't have a stand at this point, so I'm going to try to keep things very steady or as much as I can. This might be a really short video as a result because I don't want to make anybody seasick watching me, move around and swap the camera and that kind of thing. But I'll try to keep it as steady as I can, and before I do the next video, assuming that there is a next video, I will try to find some other way to brace the phone so you can see what I'm working on and don't have to worry about motion sickness. That said, because you're not going to get to see my face, I don't know how much you want to know about me. I am a 44-year-old stitcher. I have been stitching on and off for 35 years. It was the first craft that I learned from my aunt. And since then, I've done a lot of different things. Crocheting, knitting, beadwork, sewing, dyeing. I am an independent dyer, spinning. I'm very into all of the fiber arts. I even have a loom so I can weave, though I'm not any good at it. But that's just basic information on me. Otherwise, I do Ren Fair, I do some cosplay. I am a writer, was a writer. I have several books under different pseudonyms that are out there. I'm not wildly famous. It's not like 5 years down the line or tomorrow or a week down the line, whenever. You're not going to suddenly discover that, oh my gosh, it's insert New York Times bestselling author here. That's not me. I'm very small scale. I love what I do. I loved what I wrote. I have not written anything for a while, and I really need to get back to that. But that's not the focus of this video. The focus of this video is cross-stitch and what I've been working on and what I'm planning to work on and all of that good stuff. So, let's get started, shall we? Yes. 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 Never mind, I won't do any more thumbs ups. So, recently I went on a trip at the end of September, I went on a trip to Hawaii with my husband. I had never been. We went on a trip, and I wanted to have things that I could take with me. You can see my 3 boxes of floss here. I actually took those with me in my carry-on, just on the off chance that I might have time to stitch things. I did not get a lot of stitching time, but I did order some little kits in order to have something to do, to keep myself occupied. We were there for 10 days, and while touristy things are great, when the sun is out, the sun is not always out, and I wanted to have some things to do that I could make some progress on. Again, I didn't have a lot of stitching time, it turns out. I didn't make a lot of progress, but I did order little tiny kits to take with me. One of them was this Dimensions kit. It's a cardinal that says Hope. My mother is very into cardinals and blue jays and things like that, and she's my mom. You make presents for your parents. So, or some of us do anyway. So I figured I would make this for her and send it to her for Christmas along with some other things. So, that's the pattern, or that's what the pattern will look like when it's finished. And this is where I am. This is what I've gotten done so far. So like I told you, I didn't get a lot of stitching done, but I did get some, and, that counts. It's just the frame. I still have to do, as you can see on the pattern, I still have to do the bird itself and the words and all of that kind of thing. But this is a start. I should also mention that I'm a pretty slow stitcher. I'm a slow knitter, I'm a slow spinner, I'm a slow crafter in general. But stitching in particular, I tend to be kind of slow until I get obsessed, and then I will spend hours a day on one project. I kind of call myself a magpie when it comes to most of my life, really. I'm very easily distracted by shiny things. I'm very willing to have more than one project going at the same time. I have multiple knitting projects, multiple spinning projects. Obviously, I have multiple stitching projects. So one project at a time usually bores me. I have to have more than one thing going to keep my mind occupied. And you will see the result of that. The result of that is that I don't tend to have a lot of close to finished stuff. I rotate things on my own basis. And I just actually recently got back into stitching. My husband the other night said, "You don't do any big stitching cross-stitch projects anymore." I used to do mostly big cross-stitch things. I have a couple of finished projects in the house that are framed very nicely. I made a huge Mirabilia angel for my mother at one point, and it hangs in her bedroom in this beautiful antique white wooden frame. I unfortunately don't have a picture of that, so I can tell you about it all I want, but I can't actually show it to you because I don't have a picture. Anyway, this is going to get really boring if I go on and on when it's just my hands holding a piece of fabric. So that is the project that it will be. That's what it will look like eventually. This is where I am so far on this particular project. And I have to figure out where to put things when I drop them. I also have another kit. This is a little dimensions kit. Christmas, of course. Here, let me give you a better look at it. Little Santa Claus on his bike in a snow globe that says love. It's by Joy Hall. It's pretty cute. This one is not on any kind of canvas. This one is on plastic. Well, I take that back. It's not on any kind of fabric. It's on plastic canvas. I also do plastic canvas things, so I may show you some of those at some point in the future. I don't have anything to show you right now, except for this. And I have this held up against the cardboard on the back because it's kind of hard to see without the cardboard behind it. I'll show you what I mean. It's, you know, plastic and see-through. Well, you can still see it, but it's plastic and see-through, and sometimes in the wrong light, you can't really tell how much of it has been stitched. But that's what I've gotten done so far. Lots of blue. I have to finish the base and put Santa in there and everything, but you can kind of start to see the outline of the bike, and that's what I've got done on that piece. Very exciting. The other problem with doing this way is that I'm filming this one-handed, so I'm managing to keep it more or less steady, but it means it's difficult for me to move things around. So if I look clumsy fumbling things around, I apologize. It's just the way it's got to be for now. So this is let me show you the pattern. This is a tablecloth table runner. It is actually a Witchelt pattern or kit. My mom is a big yard sailor, and she found this at a yard sale in Virginia and sent it to me. I think it was in a birthday package for me from her, with a little note that said, hint, hint, and in mom speak, in my mother speak anyway, that means she wants me to do this for her. Now, it's either from Germany or actually from Belgium, I'm not sure. I can't tell you what the name of it is or anything like that. They're very cute birds. It's a repeated pattern that goes all the way around all four sides. And this is what it currently looks like. And excuse the giant hoop and... I'm sorry, let me turn this the right way. Excuse the giant hoop and the mass of fabric. I work in hoops. I know a lot of you work in scroll frames and Q-snaps and things like that. I've tried. I am no good with scroll frames. I'm no good with Q-snaps. I can't figure out how to put them together. I can't figure out how to get the fabric to work on them. I have always stitched either in hand or in hoops, and that's what I'm going to stick with. So you may call me a heretic or a heathen or whatever you would like. That's what I'm going to do, though, because that's what I'm familiar with, that's what I know, and honestly, I don't think I have the brain space anymore to learn new things. Or at least not how to do... Well, I do, but I'm too stubborn to learn. Let's put it that way. I'm too stubborn to learn how to do that. So, I work in hoops. Giant yellow hoop. This is not a great hoop, but it works for the project. And that is the sum total of what I've done on this tablecloth so far. It's one of the birds in the center. I'm hoping to get this finished by Christmas. It's not that much stitching. As you can see, the canvas is really large. The boring part of this is that I have to do the same pattern over and over again. I have to do the same thing 4 times. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try to get it done by Christmas. If I get it done earlier, my mother's birthday is at the end of November. I might send it to her then, but I'm hoping for Christmas. And of course, I will let you know how that turns out. You'll see progress, assuming I do another video. Again, you'll have to let me know if you can stand just watching my hands. And again, this is what it's supposed to look like when it's finished. The one that I'm doing is, yeah, that bird right there. That bird, that he's actually in the center, as you can see in the rest of the pattern. Okay. So then this is another thing that I was working on when I was in Hawaii. I actually think I started these before I left for Hawaii. And it's just it's a cat bookmark. That's not the pattern. That's actually what the finished thing is supposed to look like. Let me pull back a little bit. That's what it's supposed to look like, though I think that's a mock-up because the stitches are very weird and flat and sort of computer generated. The booklet itself is a Hirschner's bookmark thing. Sorry for the flying book. It's Bookmark Medley. It's a Hirschner's book, Leisure Arts book. Anyway, I have also got I have finished actually the owl there on the front cover. But the one that I'm currently working on is this guy. Ooh, I hope you can't see the pattern on that, sorry. This guy, the Siamese cat on the left of the cat bookmarks. That's what I'm working on, been working on. And he's nearly done. Here he is. Again, I work on hoops, and this hoop was sadly not big enough to do the whole thing, obviously. And the bottom I still have to move the hoop and do the bottom stitches. As you can see, not quite finished. But for the most part, the bookmark is done. I have to backstitch his little face. Isn't he cute? I have to finish doing the shading on his tail, the gray there. I don't know if you can tell that that's gray. It's very light. But I have to do the shading there and then, obviously, again, finish the bottom and he'll be done. Here's let me try to spread this out a little bit so you can see, sort of see the owl bookmark. This is really awkward with one hand. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, not a great shot of what it looks like finished. But you can see the little owls. So when this is finished, I will put some interfacing on the back of these to make them a little stiffer. I will also finish them with some fabric on the back. And then I will fray the edges like it shows in the pattern book here. Ta-da! Fringy bookmarks. And then I will have bookmarks. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. I may, if I actually do more videos, I may save them to give them away. I may sell them. I am also an Etsy seller. Like I said, I do a lot of things. I make a lot of little crafts. And I dye yarn and fiber. So I may add these to things that I take to a market at some point. I don't know. They were cute and they were easy to do, and that's why I did them. So that's the cat bookmark. He will probably be done by the time I do my next video. If I do a next video. I should really do a next video. I would like to. It's going to depend on whether people want to watch another video of somebody rambling and filming mostly blank space and their hands. This is another little project that I bought to have things to do in Hawaii. I did not actually work on these in Hawaii. I really thought I was going to have more time, stupidly, really thought I was going to have more time to do things in Hawaii while we were there for the first time for me. I know better now. I mean, I know that I shouldn't take as many things as I did to work on because really I stitched on a couple of things and that was it. But I bought this at the same time. Obviously, this is a Janlin, and this was a Janlin kit. And they're little Christmas ornaments that are teapots. These were originally, the kit calls for them to be stitched. Well, the kit had fabric in it. The kit has Aida fabric in it. I think, honestly, you tell me what you think, but I think the pictures kind of look like they were stitched on like perforated fabric or something like that. They look very stiff to me, which obviously with spray starch and stiffeners, you can get that effect. But they don't look like they're stitched on fabric on the cover picture. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Except for this one, the snowman down here in the bottom. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This is what the Teapots are supposed to look like when they're finished. And again, like I told you before, I am a really slow stitcher. Really, really slow. So this is as far as I've gotten. I've gotten the green on 3 of the Teapots, sort of kind of started. This will get more stitching done eventually. I'm also going to eventually put it in a hoop, I think, so I can just work on one teapot at a time. Right now I've been stitching this in hand, and so I've been moving from, obviously as you can see, I've been moving from pot to pot. And it's not a really efficient way of doing stitches, but I'm not always efficient in the way that I do my crafts, unfortunately. So, anyway, that's as far as I've gotten on the teapots. Again, this is what they'll look like. A little Janlin teapot set. It's really cute. And then, because I happened to pick up a package of DMC variegated floss, and I love variegated floss, just saying that right now, I wanted to play with it, and I didn't have anything that particularly called for, excuse me for this like random runaway bobbin of thread. Get over there. And while my hand is over there and you can see him, isn't this cute? Little tiny Pikachu on plastic canvas. He's double-sided. Haha, see, isn't he cute? I made him in Hawaii. I actually did do that one in Hawaii. I did. He is my Hawaiian Pikachu. Hello. Isn't he cute? I'm not a big Pokemon fan, but I think he's kind of cute. Anyway, he's two-sided. He'll be... Get off me. He'll be stitched together, and I might use him as a keychain or something. I might add him again to things that I take to market. I don't know. It was something to do. You know how that goes, right? Crafters out there, you know that you can't have idle hands when you're just sitting around minding your own business. That's no fun. Nobody wants to be bored. Nobody wants their hands to sit idle in their lap when they can be working on something. Right? Am I alone in this? Am I alone in this? Sorry, that was a really gross shot of my like torn up fingers. I apologize. Anyway, so I wanted to play with the variegated thread from DMC. There was a collection that I picked up from Joann's, and I really like Celtic knotwork and things like that. So I found a free pattern. It's the Celtic shield knot. You can find it if you Google it. It's just a chart, and so I can't show you a picture of it because it's just the chart. And you will be able to... It's a free pattern, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, the practice on Flosstube, I know, is that we do not show patterns. We just show pictures of completed things or what things will look like. So, no chart. But, again, I work on hoops, so, you know, don't judge me. But this is how far I've gotten in the Celtic shield knot. Obviously, there's 4 parts of it, and I've gotten 2 done. This is... I want to say that this is DMC 115, which I think is variegated mustard, I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. I have the thread here, and the number, the piece of the tag that has the number on it fell off, so I don't remember. But I think it's 115. There's my other hand. And a finger. Whoops, sorry. So this is just a Celtic shield knot, and my lighting really suddenly got really bad. Celtic shield knot, variegated floss. It's not all that exciting. It's just fun to see what the colors are doing. That will be finished. That's a personal thing. Like I said, just something I wanted to play with, and we'll see how it goes. So I mentioned that my husband sort of made a big deal about the fact that I haven't done any big projects. Again, I used to do big projects. I have a couple in the house, and I haven't for years, several years. So he made a comment when I was working on my little tiny things that, how come you don't do any big cross stitch anymore? He likes the things that I've done. I've made a couple things for him. And so I realized that if I was going to get back into cross stitching, I should really do something that was worth the time. Not that little things aren't worth the time. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. So if you're a designer, designers out there who do little things, don't take that as a slight. That's not what I meant. Cross-stitching takes enough time that it feels like it should be, sometimes, it should be a big, significant project. So, he made the comment that I don't do big cross-stitch projects anymore, and I figured, okay, that's sort of like tacit permission, I guess, to do something big. So I went and I bought, and I can't show you, well, that's not true. I will try to insert a picture of the finished product here. You guys all know what this looks, or most of you probably have at least seen pictures of this, but I'll try to put a picture in here. You guessed it, it's death by cross stitch. Now, again, I work on hoops. So this is where I am so far. Ha ha ha. This is really exciting. I mean, look at this like giant piece of fabric. And that's how far I've gotten. It's like 50 stitches, or it's 4 or 5 blocks of 10 by 10 stitches. So, you know, nothing profound, nothing significant. If you look up here, you will see that I had done more. You will also see that it's really close to the edge. See? Really stupidly close to the edge of the fabric. I didn't measure this properly when I started the first time, and I was originally going to, well, okay, first I said, no big deal, I'll just sew a little piece of fabric on here. See this stupid piece of fabric? Really stupid. I'll sew a piece of fabric on it and it won't be a big deal. Well, we all know that that's a big deal and it won't work. So, on that. Bad idea. Then I told myself, you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to go ahead and finish stitching it like this, and if it doesn't work out, I'll make a pillow, or I'll make a wall hanging, I'll do something so I can still use it, because I am stitching this 1/1 on 28 count even weave. So those are tiny stitches. And that amount of stitching, that was the entire length of the first page of the pattern. Width, not length. That amount of stitching took me a significant amount of time. So I was ready to say, you know what, I'll just deal with it. I messed up. I admit I messed up, but I'll just deal with it. Then I started thinking about it, and I realized that I couldn't just deal with it, and I was going to spend a huge amount of time working on this project. I mean, this is 16 pages of tiny, tiny stitches. It's like, at the size I'm stitching it, it's like more than a foot wide by almost 2 feet long, something like that. 1.5 feet long. So, yeah, it's big. So I realized that I couldn't deal with that. And sorry, there's a cat hair. There is cat hair on my fabric. Oh well, I live with cats. What can I say? I realized I couldn't just whatever it. This is going to take too much effort in order to finish. In order to boy, I'm saying a lot. I apologize for that. I don't usually do that. I'm nervous, apparently. It's going to take a lot of work to finish this, and I can't just half-ass it and whatever it and say, oh, it'll work out somehow. So, I started over. I measured in, in and down. I put it in the giant hoop, and I started over. This is what I did yesterday and last night. It's about 50 stitches. This is going to take me forever, but that's okay, because, as my husband said, I need to do a big cross-stitch project, and this is pretty darn big. So, there you go. Again, if I do another video, you will see more progress on this, hopefully. I'm going to try to have more progress on it anyway. And that is really all of what I have in terms of current WIPs. Now, like I said, I've been cross-stitching for 35 years. I have probably got a dozen, at least, projects scattered around in boxes and on bookshelves and things like that, that are in various states of semi-completion. I don't know where all of them are. I don't know that I want to finish all of them. I know that I have 2 or 3, at least, Teresa Wenslers, because I love her. I know that I have 2 or 3 Teresa Wenslers that I did at one point or another. I'm sure I have some Mirabilia tucked away somewhere. I'm sort of considering those past history. I may at some point dig those out and do more stitching on them. But there's so much stuff that's come out since I started those, and so many things that I want to do, that I'm not sure that it's worth the effort of digging them out and either starting over or redoing them. So, for the moment then, I'm considering those things that I've already showed you as my works in progress. Now, on to things that I want to make. The first thing I want to make, again, big projects, things that my husband pointed out, and as I said, I do sometimes make things for my husband. So, when he mentioned that, I thought, well, I should probably make something for you then. I have decided that I'm going to do my first HADE design, Heaven and Earth Designs. You all know that acronym, the sound of that word, but just in case. I'm going to do my first Heaven and Earth Designs for him. Now, crazily, I thought, I can do this by Christmas if I order it now. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Everybody knows it's not going to happen. Even if I do a mini design, not going to happen. Especially because I'm a slow stitcher. So slow. I do so much other stuff that I'm really slow. I said that. I'll say it again. Really slow. So, but I decided that I was going to do a pattern for him for Christmas, his birthday. His birthday is at the end of January. So, I can at least get a significant amount of time put in on it, I hope. I have already ordered fabric for it, which I will show you when it gets here, because it's not here now. So I'm going to do the Dragon Knot by Stephanie. I don't want to butcher her last name, so I'm not even going to try to say it. Anyway, I'm going to do that for my husband. I have the fabric, as I said, on order. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to try a few new things on this particular project, and I'm kind of nervous. But hopefully it works out. The other thing I want to do is, I mentioned that my aunt taught me how to cross-stitch in the first place when I was little. I was 7. I have never made her anything. Well, that's not true. I made her some little tiny sampler things when I think the first thing I made I gave to her. But I haven't really made her anything huge, and plus that seems like sort of a huge oversight on my part, you know, looking back now. Also, she lives on the East Coast with my mother. I live in California. So she has been taking care of my mother when she's had some health issues, and I feel like I need to pay her back for that somehow. So I figured I would do a project for her for Christmas as well. She lives on a farm. She has, raises chickens and cows and grows all sorts of vegetables and fruits, and she's amazing. She's just amazing. And so I went through my old magazines, and I found this. Mother Nature celebrates with harvest bounty. My aunt is not a redhead. She's sort of, I guess she's sort of a sandy blonde color. And so this woman is not exactly her, but she's definitely very country. She's definitely very nature-oriented. I mean, there's pumpkins, there's sunflowers, there's birdhouses. The gingham dress is really cute, and so I figured I would make this for her. This is from the Cross Stitch and Needlework. I think this is the October issue of Cross Stitch and Needlework. Yes, see, it is October of 1998. How old is that? Anyway, it's the October version of Cross Stitch and Needlework, and I've had this obviously for a very long time and never really done anything with it, but I saved it for patterns. And so this is one of the ones that I want to do. I have already ordered fabric for this. The floss is all DMC, so that's fine. I have plenty of that. The fabric I'm doing this on is going to be a dove gray fabric, and I will show you that when that comes in as well, because it's not here. I ordered the fabric for my husband's and my aunt's projects at the same time. So, that's about it. I know this is not a great video. It's sort of a little shaky sometimes. It's, you know, talking hands. La 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 la. But I really want to participate in the Flosstube community. Obviously, I can do that by watching other people's videos. I can do that by leaving comments on other people's videos. I don't have to make videos, but I really wanted to. So I'll give it a shot. We'll see what you think. For somebody who does not have a stand or anything for the phone, which is what I'm recording on, I think it's, it's okay. I will try to do better. And if you watched this the whole way through and you are not deathly bored or seasick or both, I appreciate the fact that you watched the video. Thank you very much. Yay, thumbs up for you. An okay for you. I don't know, a hang loose for you. And I love you for you. And I will see you next time.